Welcome to Arlington Update. I'm Cheryl Carpenter. This month, Arlington Update takes a look at what it means to grow a heart-healthy city. A new citywide initiative is helping Arlington residents learn the life-saving skills of CPR in under 22 minutes. A little later in our program, we'll tell you about the success of the letter carrier's annual food drive, and we'll take you to the official swearing-in ceremonies for the Arlington City Council. But first, ArlingtonPermits.com has become the online building and development center, especially for property owners, contractors, engineers, and architects. This next segment tells us how technology is improving the way the City of Arlington serves the development community.
ArlingtonPermits.com is a web-based software program. It's a permitting process, first of all, because our customers now can go to the web and apply for permits online. They can request inspections online, they can view those results online, and they can also view comments regarding plan review. It's a customer service initiative because for many years our customers have asked for a web-based environment, an environment where they could go to the web and apply and do all those things I just described. So it's a twofold application. They can do several things. They can apply for a permit, they can request an inspection online, they can view their inspection results online, and they can look at plan review comments online. They can also pay for those permits online. So there are a number of things that they can do. So it's just it's a multi-use application. It'll improve customer service, it'll improve turnaround times. In the development community, time is money, and so that's what we want to provide them with, time. This is phase one. Phase one was rolled out April 17th, and it was just primarily building permits. If I wanted to build a fence, a storage shed, a house, a commercial building, I could go online and submit my application and do that online. So right now it is the building permits only. Phase two and potentially other phases will be rolled out later on, and those phases will not only will they encompass the building and development process, but they'll also encompass some code enforcement and other initiatives, other services within the city. We've got a number of feedback from our number of customers. They do like it, that they're excited about it, and they're so glad that we have provided that service to them. They're especially excited about the web application, the ability to go onto the web, submit permits, view their inspection results, and pay for things online without having to leave their office. We are starting the planning of the next phase, phase two of the software. Actually, the phase two will include primarily the platting and zoning of properties. Once this project is up and completed, the entirety of this project, it will include from beginning to end of a development. If you take a raw piece of land, a developer takes a raw piece of land, he has to have the proper zoning, he has to plat it to subdivide the lots and dedicate easements, he has to apply for a building permit, he builds the building, and then the certificate of occupancy is issued for the building. Then once that's complete, then we have a life cycle of the building afterwards, where we have to do, in some buildings we have to do annual inspections, such as apartments or grocery stores and stuff like that. So it'll be this program will provide a life history of a piece of property from beginning to its end.
This month, Arlington Update continues its spotlight on the 4 service teams charged with helping to address the policy priorities of the Mayor and City Council. This next segment introduces the Capital Investment Service Team. Their mission? To ensure that development and construction activities for capital programs meet the current and future needs of the community. Deputy City Manager Fiona Allen tells us more.
One of the city service teams that Jim's put together is our Capital Investment Group, which consists of the Public Works and Transportation Department, the Water Utilities Department, and a newly formed Environmental Services Department. We're very excited about the opportunity to have these 3 groups work together to support our ED effort, as well as maintain the infrastructure that we need to value, operate, maintain, and build new infrastructure for the citizens of Arlington. There'll be 3 main priorities that this group will be charged with. One is development of green building standards for all new city construction. So anytime we have a new building come in, we're going to make it as environmentally sensitive as possible. That can be anything from solar power to the type of materials that you use when you're constructing a building. There are ways to recycle rainwater, for example, where you can make sure it goes into the landscape without coming out a downspout, where you can either put it in a cistern where it's there so you can use it for irrigation later on. Ways to insulate your building so you use less electricity. There are different lighting options so you don't have your lights on all the time. And again, the materials. You might be using materials that are made from recycled materials or another material that's more environmentally friendly when it's manufactured. We'll also be looking at the ability to catch up and keep up with the current infrastructure. We have a lot of streets that need to be rebuilt. We have a lot of streets that need to be maintained. We've got new water and wastewater lines that we need to get in the ground to meet growing demands, as well as expand a water treatment plant and eventually build a new elevated tank. So the Water Department and the Public Works and Transportation Department will have lots of issues coming up here in the future. The other part that's very exciting is the creation of the new Environmental Services Department. We're going to be incorporating opportunities to keep our solid waste and our water quality and air quality issues in one department, as well as monitor our fleet activities to be sure that they're meeting air quality direction, because we're in a non-attainment zone here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So everything that the city can do to help meet all the EPA guidelines, we need to be following what COG and what our council wants us to do. We've already started the transition. Currently, Bob Lowry and Julie Hunt report to me. We started that effective March 1st. The council recently authorized a Citizens Environmental Committee, and one of the things our Environmental Services Department is going to be doing is work with that committee to meet the council's priorities as they feed into our air quality and water quality initiatives. So we're really excited about that opportunity for more citizen input to help guide that department. That new department will be headed up by Bob Bird. He'll be transitioning here shortly, and we're very excited about getting that up and going. Julie Hunt will continue as Water Utilities Director, and Bob Lowry as the Public Works and Transportation Director. It's a great team, and I'm really looking forward to working with them.
Opportunities for summer fun in Arlington are better than ever following the recent opening of the city's newest and largest outdoor swimming pool. Arlington Update was on location for the grand opening celebration of the Bad Konishofen Family Aquatic Center.
Dear Mayor Clark and citizens of Arlington, we would like to invite you to come and visit us in Bad Konishofen. But just not all at the same time. Our city...
You couldn't handle 350,000 people.
Our city is small. We have 7,200 people. The friendship between the United States and Germany is important. And more important is the friendship between Arlington and Bad Konishofen.
I'm here today with Linda Freeman, a member of the Sister Cities Committee, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the relationship of the Sister Cities.
I first learned about the association when I came to work for the City of Arlington in 1983, and it started in a most unique way between two girls, a German girl and an Arlington girl, who were pen pals during the war. And the German girl ended up on a 21-city tour of the United States in 1951, and the last stop was at TCU. So TCU, being very close to Arlington, she wanted to come out and meet her pen pal face to face. And with her was the city manager of Bad Konishofen. And so that's what brought them to Arlington. Meeting, the pen pal girls meeting for the first time face to face, and it gave Kurt Zucke, who was the city manager, an opportunity to talk to local officials about the dire circumstances that Bad Konishofen was experiencing. They are situated, and were at that time, very close to the border that closed between West Germany and East Germany. And they, on the west side, became a refugee city, overrun with people escaping the communist East. And they didn't have enough clothes, they didn't have enough medical supplies, they didn't have enough housing or food. And so when Kurt Zucke began talking about the dire circumstances that his city was experiencing, Arlington's spirit of response led them to adopting Bad Königshofen in 1951, and here we are today. Our leaders have been instrumental, and then of course we have to remember Tom Vandergriff, without whom it wouldn't have happened, because he was the mayor at the time when we adopted Bad Königshofen. And although he hasn't been there, he in his own quiet way on this side of the Atlantic has promoted the relationship. And I've heard him say, and I just love hearing him say it, that the response that Arlington had there in the initial years, and we have to remember it was just a few years after the end of World War II, the overwhelming response of early Arlington in the 50s might have been Arlington's finest hour.
This year we're celebrating the 55 years of friendship, and the German delegates are here visiting and touring this facility. Can you tell us what they think about the facility?
Oh, they are so overwhelmed. They were here, as you know, last night to see it for the first time, and they cannot believe this beautiful water park is carrying the name of their town. They are overwhelmed and so proud to be here.
We're here this morning with Gordon Robertson's Parks Planning Manager to talk about the newest facility for aquatics in South Arlington. Gordon, can you tell us a little bit about the features of the pool?
Yes, Beth. We have a series of features in the pool. The first is a spray pad that is really meant for the younger kids. You can be 6 months old, you can be 10 years old. You're going to really enjoy the spray pad feature. And then it transitions down into a shallow water pool. It's about 1 6 inches deep of water, and it's got water shooting from all over the place. The slightly older kids, maybe 3 to 8, are just going to love that. It's a shallow water pool, and as I said, it has these wheels, and you can adjust the water that flows out, and so you can make it go faster or slower.
So it's actually like an interactive spray pad, if you will.
Yeah, it's very interactive, but again, there's about 1.5 feet of water, so even the moms can kind of wade in and get cool off. And then that transitions through a waterfall down into a lap pool. And we have a 4-lane, 25-meter lap pool that hopefully will bring some more of the adults out for lap swimming and kind of just recreational swimming. And then that transitions down into a 12-foot deep diving well. And the diving well has a 1-meter diving board, as well as a slide tower that has 2 slides coming off of it. One slide is actually a drop slide, which is unusual to find in a municipal pool. And you drop out of the slide for about 5 feet into the water. And then we have another slide which has a series of turns, and you end up in about 3 inches of water down at the bottom.
So it does have some features for older kids as well.
Yeah, the design intent from the very beginning, we worked with a citizens committee, and the design was really to try to attract not only the small kids that love these parks, but also some of the older kids that sometimes these parks don't attract.
And can you tell us any other information that went into the design and planning of the pool?
Sure. This is named after our sister city, Bad Königshofen, and the idea was to blend some German architecture with Texas. So what we did was we chose sort of a Texas country, almost like a Fredericksburg, that was settled by the Germans here in Texas. And we used a lot of stone, a lot of rural type architecture, such as the grain bin you'll find in the ticket booth. And what we've done is try to blend the Texas with the German. We use, of course, the spray pad as the entry feature. It's much like you'd find a fountain to attract people in. And then, of course, each pool stair steps down. You can see all the pools from the entryway of the building.
Gordon, I was just noticing that we have a lot of landscaping out here. Can you tell us what went into the planning of the landscaping and how it differs from other city facilities?
Sure. What you'd find in a typical municipal facility is a lot of gray concrete. And what we found from our citizens here that helped us design the pool complex was they wanted it to really soften the feel of the pool. So what we did was we brought in a lot of landscaping, a lot of native grasses and trees, and you'll find that it's a much softer feel. We also stained much of the concrete so that you really kind of break up all the gray everywhere. And we think we've kind of made it a more attractive place to come for adults.
Did you know? The Bad Königshofen Family Aquatic Center is perfect for birthday parties, family gatherings, weddings, and receptions. Go to www.aceacorn.com for everything you need to know to plan your next celebration. Arlington Update will take a break, and when we return, we'll introduce CP Arlington. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Water is a precious natural resource, and demand continues to increase as our population grows. To encourage wise water usage, lawn and landscape irrigation requirements are now effective by city ordinance. Because evaporation loss is highest from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., this ordinance promotes smart water by limiting the use of sprinklers and irrigation systems to other periods of the day. From June 1st to September 30th, no lawn or landscape watering or irrigating is permitted from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. unless you're watering by hand or using soaker hoses. If you're installing a new irrigation system, the ordinance requires both rain and freeze sensors to be installed as well. These sensors help conserve water by interrupting scheduled watering during wet or icy conditions. Because sensors can help save water, your installation cost is usually recovered within 1 to 3 years. Watering more efficiently saves you money and conserves water for everyone's future. After all, it's our water. Take it personally.
CP Arlington is a collaborative effort led by the City of Arlington and the University of Texas at Arlington in partnership with Arlington Medical Response, the American Heart Association, the Arlington Independent School District, the Texas Rangers, and Arlington Rotary Clubs. The program is well underway in our city. Mayor Robert Clark has issued this pledge to train more than 360,000 residents in the basic life-saving skills of CPR. Arlington Update was on location for the CPR First Pitch for Health kickoff event.
Today's first pitch is a major league endeavor, the scale of which has never been taken on before. But don't tell these guys it can't be done, because the heroes with me today would like one more chance to tell you that the City of Arlington doesn't back down from a challenge.
We recognize the value of this box because people like you are not going to be able to spend 8 hours learning how to be CPR qualified, certified. You will not be certified with this kit. I would rather you save a life than receive certification, to be honest with you. So that is the value of collaboration between the city and UTA, the school district, and of course the American Heart Association, which, by the way, has developed this package.
Like they said earlier, the more people that know CPR, the more lives we can save. This program is one of the greatest things that's come out because it's so easy, it's so simple, and it teaches that life-saving procedure in 25 minutes. It's wonderful.
I learned how to properly apply the CPR techniques, and I'd used the Heimlich before, but never the CPR, and I haven't done it since '96, so this was a great refresher course and a little more practical than the other mannequin that I used in '96. So this was great. The kit's great too.
This is a question of how can we not only help each other, but how can we be in a position ourselves to save lives. And it gives me great pleasure to know that the university is a major partner in this enterprise. We bring 25,000 students. We have over 5,000 faculty and staff, and it's our desire to share in the mayor's goal of reaching thousands
Anyone that has this box, probably the best thing you can do with it. It comes with little cleaning devices in it. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors. Spread it around. The more people that know, the more of us that live when that happens.
I myself am somewhat a heart patient. I have atrial fibrillation. So if somebody around me knew what to do if I would have a problem, I'd be grateful.
So we're just going to keep expanding it. We want to be a strong partner in this endeavor, and I'm just proud to be here to represent the fine employees of the Arlington School District. Thank you.
The American Heart Association is well on our way to reach our goal to train 20 million people per year by the year 2010.
Our goal is 36,000 people in Arlington learning how to do CPR, and that's a minimum goal. I think it can go much bigger than that, and I think it should, because we'd like to have in every neighborhood somebody who is CPR capable so that they can be called upon in case there is a tragic event. And it's fun, but also somebody here will save a life someday.
Well, you know, we've got a top-notch fire department, and we've got an excellent emergency response time, and we also have a transport agency that does a terrific job meeting all of our nationally accepted standards. But you know, really, when it comes to cardiac arrest, the time is so critical. Even with our response time, even if we had more and more firefighters and a station on every corner, the real difference in the chain of survival, in making a difference in keeping people alive, is that trained bystander CPR that can begin and initiate CPR as soon as cardiac arrest occurs. That's what really makes a difference. We can save the lives of our neighbors and the people we care about, and our guests here in this city, and we can do that by training so many of the folks in our community to do bystander CPR.
This project is hugely important for Arlington because when people do have fatal heart attacks or cardiac arrest, there's about 3 minutes time when you can save a life. If you wait for first responders, frequently it's too late. If, however, there's bystander CPR, they can save a life and they can save normal function. So it's hugely important for citizens to learn how to do CPR.
Talk about how fast and easy way of doing it.
Well, it sure is. You know, before, historically, some of the training programs that were a part of what we've taught in the fire department and the American Heart Association has taught for a number of years have been full-day classes. You know, things that are just resisted based on the busy, hectic schedule that so many of our citizens have right now. With this 23-minute CD that you watch and the portable mannequin that you work with, you can actually learn and perfect this skill enough to make a life-saving difference. So all we're asking for now is an investment of 23 minutes of time.
It's extremely easy. It comes with a CD-ROM, a mannequin, and you learn from the CD-ROM. It takes 25 minutes, you're done, you're ready. And then review it 2 or 3 times a year, show it to your neighbors, show it to your family, and many of these people up here will save a life because of this course.
Show your support locally and help fund this health initiative in schools, places of business, and throughout the Arlington community. Become a program partner. Call the number on your screen. Letter carriers in Arlington demonstrated their commitment to caring for their communities by participating in the 2006 National Association of Letter Carriers annual food drive. The Arlington City Council proclaimed May 13, 2006 as Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive Day. At the end of the day, letter carriers collected more than 73,000 pounds of non-perishable food items. All collected items were presented to Arlington charities. Arlington Update will take a short break, and when we return, we'll take you to the official swearing-in ceremonies for new City Council member Mel LeBlanc and returning City Council members Sherry Capehart, Steve McCollum, and Ron Wright. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
The City of Arlington invites you to join in Partnerships for Arlington. As an Arlington resident, you now have the opportunity to conveniently support up to 6 different programs through your monthly water bill. These include the beautification of parks and street meetings, construction of a new animal services center, enrichment of our libraries, collections, materials, and resources, providing children with after-school athletic programs, enhancements citywide through public art, and the Care and Share program to assist others in need. To participate in any of these programs, simply fill out the Partnerships for Arlington section of your monthly water bill. This tax-deductible donation focuses right here on our community. Together, we can partner for a better future.
If an emergency occurs and you need police, fire, or medical services, pick up the phone and dial 911.
Arlington 911.
Dial 911 when the emergency involves an immediate threat to life, safety, or health. It is important that the 911 call taker be able to gather and verify information. This will help ensure the appropriate responder is sent to the location of the emergency. Although technology provides information to the 911 call taker about where you are calling from, the call taker must still be able to verify your information. Always remember to provide your name, your phone number, and the address of the emergency. It is also very important that you remain calm and answer questions as clearly as possible. Don't hang up, remain on the line. If you are calling from a cellular phone, know your location and be prepared to give information such as street names, landmarks, mile markers, and always know your cell phone number. Remember, 911 is for emergencies only. To learn more, visit our website at www.ci.arlington.tx.us/911.
The 2006-07 Arlington City Council is joined by a new member. On May 30th, Mel LeBlanc took the oath of office as a newly elected Arlington City Council member. LeBlanc represents Council District 1 in North Arlington. The District 1 seat was vacated by Joe Bruner, who ends 6 years of service on the Arlington City Council.
Raise your right hand. I, Mel LeBlanc,
I, Mel LeBlanc,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will faithfully execute
the
duties of council member
the duties of council member
for District 1
for District 1
of the City of Arlington, Texas,
of the City of Arlington, Texas,
and will,
to
the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend
the
Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state and of this city. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I, Sherry Capehart.
I, Sherry Capehart.
City Council members Sherry Capehart, Steve McCollum, and Ron Wright were re-elected to serve 2-year terms.
The duties of council.
Contact your City Council member representative. Go to our website or call the Office of the Mayor and City Council at 817-459-6121. The First Post Office, a few general merchants, a newspaper. This month's Moment in Arlington History takes a look at Arlington in the late 1800s. With only 275 residents, the town was on the right track for success.
Did you know James Ditto Sr. was one of the first merchants to locate in the commercial area marked by the intersection of Main Street and Center Street. His store served as Arlington's first post office. The 1880 U.S. Census showed Arlington to have 8 general merchants, 3 drugstores, a lumber dealer, 2 physicians, a hotel keeper, a saloon operator, and various other occupations, including farmers. The total population in Arlington in 1880 was only 275 people. In an effort to keep the public informed, William Timmerman and Colonel Thomas Spruance established the city's first newspaper in 1883. It was called The World. That paper today is the Arlington Star-Telegram.
He was an Arlington resident who collected historical photos of our city. His collections chronicled everything from farm life to historic buildings, places, and people. J.W. Dunlop served the city as a firefighter, fire marshal, and assistant fire chief. The J.W. Dunlop Sports Center is named in his honor. This month, Arlington said farewell to J.W. Dunlop.